Anyway, hopefully we're back and everything's working perfectly now. We'll know in a minute. But we were talking about Ivan Boesky and Michael Milton. Michael Milton, probably the bigger story just for the size of what he did. Both of these guys never were really very contrite about what they did being wrong. They kind of really truly believed all money was theirs. The most interesting thing to me was that Milken got a 10-year prison sentence to Boesky's 2, but he was able to get that down to 2.5 years. He spent from 1997 to the time he got convicted in 1991 about $3 million a month on public relations and spreading money around politically. So not too long after he went to jail, about 1.5 years, Clinton's came in. He was throwing money at everywhere. This may have been the first real big political get out of jail free card that money bought in the 90s when this was so prevalent. And of course, what was it? Mark Rich in 2000 as the first Clinton left office. But the corruption was huge. Milken was able to buy himself out of 7.5 years of jail. But very interesting business. If you missed it this morning, then we'll get to charts here. I'm calling him wrong way junkers. This is the gentleman that is the head of the Brussels EU business. I call him the James Bond villain. He called for a special meeting over the weekend because, of course, we were going to have to get the next U.S. president's mind right. He didn't know anything. He's just stupid. He's a dummy. Basically doing everything he can to stick a thumb in the eye of the next president. This was not greeted well by both Britain and France, who said they were too busy doing dishes to be bothered with this jackass. So he's standing out in the rain, or was yesterday, no one wanting, at least from the two biggest countries, to pay any attention to this jackass. And, of course, the other things going on out here, congressional leaders in both parties said that they would not bring the trade deal forward during the lame duck session, and that's the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. So that's kind of done. But this EU thing, to me, much bigger deal, especially when we see Italy voting next month. And then, actually, I think it's on my next slide here, the Spanish are looking at separating their country into two pits, two bites. 80,000 people over the weekend rallied in Barcelona. There is kind of a secular part of Barcelona that can be thought of more as kind of like when you get to Texas, kind of a whole different, as they say in Texas, a whole different country, the same thing going on over there. But instead of the statist, Stalinist, socialist, communist view that Brussels has of the EU, it looks to me like there are more and more places where people don't really want to be or have other people telling them exactly what to do, how to live, what to eat. And I suspect the EU is all but done for now. This, I call it the spaghetti Western over there, because that's in that area right there where they filmed all those great, the good, the bad, and the uglies, and the rest of them. But a very interesting thing going on there. Of course, Italy votes in December, and that should probably get the ball rolling. But between everybody emptying their nostrils in the general direction of the EU, i.e. the French and the English this weekend, I'm thinking it's the writing's on the wall. Even Germany's Merkel has about a 12% approval rating right now. There's very little of these folks that anybody loves, except if you work for the government or you work for the EU and you're kind of locked in to making sure that perpetuates itself. China is also on the move over the weekend. Well, that's not part of my slide, but kind of threatening Apple. and telling Apple that they better get Trump's mind right if they want to continue to do business. It would be a horrible thing if all those iPhones didn't come off the assembly line when everybody wanted them to. Kind of the equivalent of the guy coming by going, it'd be a real shame if someone threw a brick through your window. The dangers, as I've said, of dealing with China, as I did it in the 90s, they have not changed, are that you'll get in just far enough that they can blackmail you on a variety of fronts. That blackmail starts today, at least that way. But I think they're barking up the wrong tree if they think that someone who violently tried to get them unelected is going to go to the mat for Apple. So we shall see. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these charts. Where's my, actually, what is this going on out here? Oh, there we go. Okay, let's bring that up and take a look at Apple. I said that we were thinking or looking at Apple possibly hitting that 101 area. I had some more emails out here talking about whether or not we would get to that level. I think it's fairly easy to see. The reason I came up with this 101 call back here is because of this double gap that has acted as support and resistance 3 times now, and that looks to me about where support would come in, about $100, maybe 101 on Apple. Volume isn't all that exciting so far today, but my guess is that we've already started that move back down, and we're probably going to get to around to that 101, 102 area. Don't know if there's any kind of catalyst that would really move them. Now with the Chinese threatening to make sure that maybe those iPhones don't come out the other end of that assembly line, another big deal out here. Again, we're off 3 points on the S&P cash. I'm going to give you a big fat I informed you thusly. Oh, I informed you thusly. That is, high volume tends to make markets that go sideways. Now, what else do we have out here? I wanted to check back in with Win. Okay, Win Resorts has been moving down. I never really understood this whole idea of this thing rocketing up, especially this last move that started on the end of August and ran up to the September 15th time frame. It just looked to me like a giant short squeeze out here. All of this was predicated on the thought that at least for 1 quarter, things were going to turn around and people couldn't stand not to be in it. Now, I have to say that if you see the CEO buying, you think maybe things are a little bit better. Of course, he was buying down at this $50 to $55 level, not up the 90 to 110 level. So I think, what is his name, Steve Wynn? Probably a good buy down there, just vastly overrun. And I don't understand the idea that China is ever going to let a lot of cash out of those Macau gambling casinos. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And starting to get back into earnings now after the election. Home Depot coming up, after the bell tomorrow night or in the morning? I'm listed here. Let's see. After the bell tonight, we've got Advanced Auto Parts, Zoe's Kitchen, Tuesday before the bell, Beezer Homes, Dick's Sports, Diebold, Home Depot, so before the bell tomorrow, JD Com, Klook and Safa, Stratasys, TJX Max. After the bell tomorrow, we've got Agilent. When we get into Wednesday, Jinko Solar, Lowe's. After the bell, Cisco System on Wednesday, and C-Trip International, L Brand. We get into Thursday, Best Buy, Perry Ellis, Staples, Walmart. After the bell on Thursday, Post Holdings, Ross Store, Salesforce, and Williams Sonoma. So a few things going on here. I know HD is off a little bit today. Very hard to see interest rates don't at least slow this down a little bit. I think you can make a case for an ABC down on this one. We'll take a quick look here and see if we make this our A and we make this one our B. We make today our C. That would set up what? A, B, C, so 129. So it'd take you down to about 150. That would be 115. So 130. And you got 120 to 115. 15 would take you down to 105 maybe. Could. There's two gaps down here that I think are more likely, though. There's a low at 107 that had pretty much volume. Two gaps, one at 115 and one at 110. Then you got 108 out here. I don't know. Everybody's just way too in love with this company. My guess is that it could do okay and then maybe go sideways and slow down. I would not be long or short this before earnings, but they could still have one good pop left out here to run some shorts out of it. It's fairly highly shorted stocks. There is a special on the National Geographic channel tonight, and it is basically, at least I saw the first edition last night. I think it actually is on Nat Geo tonight. but it's a six-part mini-series, 6 hours long. The first one looked like an ad for SpaceX more than anything else. I'm wondering how much money got kicked back into it. Not all that good. I've seen some better things out there. Probably the best thing about it is that these guys are getting ready to go to Mars, and they all say, you know what, your chances of living through this are nothing. And I think that was probably the most accurate part of it. It will, I guess, the second one, I guess the first night tonight and the second one tomorrow night. Don't know the whole thing out of it, but fairly interesting to watch. Musk almost looks like something that someone would have paid for to make him look very good. Not doing him much good out here in Tesla. We have gone through and broken the previous low. That's the 27th low, 187.78. We got to 178.19. So we're a good $10 under that previous low. Is the volume all that exciting? No. Could you get a bounce out? Yes. This thing's about 30% short right now. Again, doesn't mean, you want some kind of wicked short covering rally out here to pull the trigger on it. And that's the only way that you can get in it. And then when you think it can't go any higher, go out and walk the dogs and come back and see if it's not higher, because that's normally the way these things that are 30% short do work. But kind of interesting. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can call me at 877-927-6648. What else is going on here? Got a question to take a look at the IWM. This is gone through the highs. I would be very worried about this market, and I am. And this is the reason. It has been customary through the three major blow-ups in the stock market to see short the small caps run at the very last before the entire market just gives it up. I thought maybe we would have a gentle pullback. I'm now a little bit more worried that the IWM running here at the end is the very end of a very long bull market, and that we could have a much larger and much more profound pullback in the market. I would have loved to seen this thing go up there with light volume, pull back a bit, come back to where about 104, which is, I think, where this thing is eventually going to go, and find some support after it fails. But everybody piling into the IWM stocks is a pretty good indication that, it has been in the past, a high correlation that almost everything is over. This huge run off of the low of November 3rd out here has had a lot of volume and everything else. But this is normally the sign of same thing. Everybody starts losing money in the bonds. They start pouring their money into the equity markets. The equity markets go way up, and of course they're already way overpriced, so they go even higher. Of course, then the big generals start rolling over, like Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, even a little bit today, Netflix. And then what do you see? Everybody goes after these small caps, thinking that there's a place to hide some of your money. And of course, instead of just putting it under the mattress, the idea is that they can't stand a minute not to be making money, and that is normally where the giant downsides come in and where people lose a absolute ton of money. So when you see the IWM really run like we have in the last few days, most people would say it's an incredibly bullish signal. To me, it is a time to be scared and make sure that I watch my money very closely. Any close back below 125 out here would be a monster long-term signal on the rest of the market. What else do we have going on out here? There was I had several stocks, movers. Let's take a few looks at the bigger movers out here today. Bud is back down. Some discussion that Bud is going to buy Coca-Cola, and I don't think anybody likes that. Now, this thing was already moving down lower. I suspect this rumor is not true, but it doesn't really matter. They're throwing a little gas on the fire on this one. Back to the gap where it took off back on September 29th, 2015. We've got, what is this? Harman International being bought by Samsung. This is the same company, Harman Kardon, all that kind of stuff. They make a lot of electronics for cars too, besides the radio heads. But they do a lot of OEM work, a lot of other parts, electronic parts for the car industry. Samsung wants to get into that dash space where everybody else is fighting for, both Google and Apple. And that's what this buyout today is all about with HAR. When we come back, we'll look at another buyout here, MENT, and then we're almost done with the show.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. Let's take a look at one out here. As one senator said in the, I think it was in either the late 80s or the 90s, a billion here, a billion there, soon you're talking about real money. Priceline is down, not a significant amount of volume, but they did write off $1 billion on one of their acquisitions, which was a company called Open Table. If you remember that, that thing was hotter than all get out when they bought it. nothing like buying at the highs and selling at the lows. Down, kind of filling this gap out here. It's very hard to see how anything that's going on makes Priceline more valuable. This is kind of coming down on a lighter volume and filling this gap. My thought out here would be any kind of close below about 1450 on this would be very bearish and was just an opportunity to run how many shorts that they could out of this business. We look at Expedia. I know Tom O'Brien coming up in 5-7 minutes, something like that, talked about how he thought that this one had some organic weaknesses in the way that this thing was run. And I'm thinking that there's kind of something to that. The problem is this one's another one of these things that are perpetually 30 to 40% short interest, maybe 25%. I'd have to go back and look at it. This one's kind of come back down, but in the same thing, not a lot of volume out here. You may get one more gap up. 125 would look interesting on this, but again, you need to kind of get all the shorts out of these highly short stocks before they're really safe to trade. So it is a problematic issue, but I don't know if the guy that decided it was a great idea to buy Open Table is still around, but they got it's just $1 billion mistake, no big deal. See if there's anything else out here I wanted to look at before the end of the day. I got an email here. Someone wants me to look at the TLT. This thing I thought maybe would at least find some temporary support around that 127 level. It just gapped down right through it, past it. That was it. Tried to do a little bit better today. Got down to 120.73. This is the first gap that goes back to the 14th of January. We've got one more gap underneath that goes to the 5th of January, and that would take you to about 119 on the TLT. But when this bond market, when they get a trend, the entrances and the exits are fairly narrow because we're talking about so much money. It's kind of like saying the difference between an ocean and a river when we talk about the equity markets versus the bond markets. But that's what you got. You got an ocean trying to get through a little lock, and the velocity is absolutely mind-bending when it gets to these levels. But that could get you to that next level now that this thing is blown through with volume, all of those. Longer term, 115s and then 111s. The 111 would get you back to the June 26, 2015 low. I just don't know if there's anything that can stop this thing now. You've got kind of a rolling auction in bonds, and that could continue for some time. Again, very tough. Not the entrance and exit is fairly narrow, and the amount of money in these things absolutely unfathomable. Sell when you can, especially if you're in bonds. Not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat line.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.